Hey everybody, welcome back to Peachy Disc Golf. Today I am with my friend Nathan. Lisa and I are visiting his and his wife Amanda's new property here, and I think you can actually put a disc golf course out here. What do you think?
I think we got the space and a little bit of a clearing to be able to at least get a few holes.
Yeah, if we can get like a sweet little 9-hole course, that'd be so much fun. So today it's just sort of a weird little vlog style video. We're gonna just wander around, try to see if we can design a course. Let's see what we can find. All right, so Nathan, how big is your property here, do you know?
It's roughly about 10 acres.
Okay, cool. Lisa and I have been up here once, and the first thing we come in, I was like, man, you really can put a disc golf course in here. I remember touring, because they were showing us the whole property, and I was like, yeah, there's a shot there, there's a shot there, so we're gonna see if we can design a little temporary course here, and then maybe if we can get an idea, we'll see if like Kang and Bowie and the gang can come up sometime, and we'll bring my little portable basket and just sort of put a tee pad down with some discs, mark a tee pad off, put the basket somewhere, and maybe play a little 9-hole round for fun. So right off the bat, we're in the front, and you can see we found like one ideal shot right here, right?
Yeah, the good thing about this property is he had a lot of little driveways that the former owner used to drive around on. So yeah, there's plenty of little clearings and wide open spaces between the trees.
So here's like what we're seeing. Like you can see, like we got a clearing here with a nice, like really open, what could be a fairway, and then it opens up further to the left here. So I didn't obviously bring my basket or anything, but I did bring some discs. So we're gonna just sort of throw some shots and see how it goes. Nathan, you actually play a little bit of disc golf every now and then.
Yeah, I'm a rookie.
How many times have you played? Like a handful of times, right?
Yeah, maybe like 5 or 6.
Yeah. So we're just gonna toss some discs around, and if we can find some good ideas for hole placements, I think it'll be a lot of fun. I'm gonna try a little mid-range shot here. So I am doing some form changes. I'm gonna talk about that a little bit in this video as well. I did a little coaching session with Ezra Robinson, actually, who is one of our local pros, luckily. So he gave me a few pointers. I also talked to Cam from the Tee Less Traveled. He also pointed out a couple things that might be impacting my distance. So I'm working on some form stuff, but I think this will be a really cool little hyzer shot. My thought is just going straight down and then have a basket placement off to the left, because there is a little clearing up there. So let's see, I think this will be like an easy guarantee as a hole 1 placement for sure. That was super short, but you get the idea. Let's throw another one. I'll throw my hex. Same thing. That's okay though. But yeah, something up there. I think nice little like 200, 220 foot shot. That's the probably what most of these would be. Let's go check out what that green would look like. Here's the end of the gap I was trying to throw through. I kept my shots off early, but you can see up here, it's wide open. It's like, I guess, another one of those driveways that they had here, right?
Yeah, there used to be a former little trailer over here, so it's a wide open space.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool, because like from up here, I mean, obviously we could put the basket way down there, but I think that would make the shot a little bit too interesting. I don't know. That might work, but I would say like maybe around where this little broken off limb is would be a good basket placement, and then actually maybe up here have a tee spot coming down this way, because you can see that it's a little open down here, or if we're coming back down this way as well to the right, we might be able to get some like a turnover or forehand or something. So if we're looking back this way, this is sort of the area where that's that limb. I was thinking of having the basket for 1. And there's sort of like a little turnover line, sort of a little gap there. You could do like a forehand or a turnover. Maybe we'll try that real quick. I'm gonna try to keep this on hyzer, not even go that far. Maybe I'll show you where that gap is. Nope, I threw it too wide. That's not what I was imagining. Try something else. I'll try just a turnover. Yeah, something like that, honestly. I think that could be a little interesting shot. Kind of a lucky throw there, so maybe not. Just sort of talk you through some ideas, you know? So as we're walking, this is sort of the gap that I was talking about here. Is down here, and then maybe have something where that bundle of brush is. So I got super lucky. Like I cut into these trees here on the right, but I think that would be an interesting shot. It's just not a specialty of mine, but I think that's a very doable forehand for sure. So I'm seeing here, Nathan, we got like a bunch of chopped trees down already. Was this like, I guess, from the old owner then?
Yeah, this was all done previously before we took over. But yeah, it makes a little bit of a clearing.
Yeah, so that's why it's like, there's a lot of trees here, and obviously nothing with disc golf in mind specifically. Like no trees are removed for designing any disc golf holes, obviously, but because there are like so many of these little chopped trees, they're not super densely packed in. So we can like really, they're not like super packed in. So it's like, it's very manageable to find like some interesting little disc golf lines. Now, obviously, I'm sure if we're trying to get 9 holes, we'll have to get some like sort of lucky gaps where if we could remove like one tree, it'd be perfect. But I think there's a lot of potential here. Actually, it makes me. I told Lisa, I was like, we need to move up here now as well. Find like a big plot of land and make a little disc golf course. Especially now that one of our local courses, Chamblee Church, got like closed down because there's like a little. I don't think it's a lawsuit, but there was like something legal going on there, so that was annoying. But let's see if we can find a short little 9-hole course in the woods out here.
Yeah. Okay, so if you had the second hole over in this area, what were you thinking for maybe doing the third hole?
Yeah, obviously we'd want to try to get something, you know, with a good flow. If we were designing like a real course, obviously it doesn't matter too much because this isn't going to be a public course or anything. It's going to be like a one-time play, a little casual round here. So here's what I was thinking for hole 2. We were up there and we come in with a forehand through. This is the gap I was talking about. And then there's this big clearing right here. So just throw the basket up here, nice little forehand, and then see a potential line here. So one of the big things with this house, there's like a lot of sheds, right?
Yeah, he had a lot of outbuildings that he stored a lot of stuff in. So there's a lot of kind of cleared out for those buildings and the surrounding area.
Yeah, and another really interesting thing here at the property, there's like a giant like storm bunker as well. We're definitely gonna have to incorporate that. We were talking last time, I was like, we should come up with like some kind of pretentious sounding name for the course. So I was like, the bunker at the sheds or something like that, because there's just so many sheds here. Here's what I'm thinking, look at this. This could be a little interesting line. So this tree and this tree here, these 2 trees, make it like a double mando. So you have to pipe it through that gap off the tee, like pretty close to the second basket, and then go up towards the sheds, like sort of in front of that gray shed on the left. I think that could be an interesting little shot. So we backed up the idea for the tee position because I didn't even think about it, because I'm just looking visually. I'm like, this is a great spot. But that green that we're talking about, where we would then put the tee pad for 3, is on a slope downhill. So that would be a little dangerous. So we backed it up, and now we're back in that first driveway we were on, and it's a little flatter. So I'm still thinking the same. I don't know. I don't even know if you have to say a double mando or anything either anymore. From back here, it is sort of a little poke and hope. But I mean, we could do it as a challenge, or we could do like a double mando between like some of these wider trees, and then there's just a couple of little trees to still make it through, but we'll see. I'm just gonna try to chuck something and see if I can even get to the shed. I'm just using a proxy here. That was the double mando I was trying to hit. I think that's a lot of fun. I don't know if you necessarily have to hit that specific gap. I think though, it's just a nice little straight shot, and you just gotta hit one of the gaps. This reminds me a little bit of hole 8 at East Roswell from the short tees, but these gaps are a little bit bigger. They're not quite as dense and tightly packed. So yeah, I think this is a pretty cool little idea to have a green sort of up in the little corral of sheds here. I think it's sort of, if this was like, if we were designing like a public style course, right? I know a lot of people try to incorporate their surroundings as much as possible to sort of make like a signature style hole, that sort of thing. And the sheds are definitely one of the signatures here on the property. So I think that's sort of, it sort of showcases the property. Obviously the signature hole is gonna be with the bunker, but I think this is a cool little idea, like just because you can see it's more open up here by the sheds as well. So I think having a nice little basket there, just got to make it through the little gaps in the middle of the fairway. And I think that's a totally like I said, it reminds me of East Roswell even, so seems legit to me. Obviously, maybe this was designed to be a disc golf course. Look, we got a totally legit tee pad right here going into nothing. Actually, I do see a little gap here, but I guess the road's pretty close this way, right?
Yes, that's the...
So we would not want to do that either. But let's go this way, guys. This is where the bunker is. Top of the storm bunker. Come look over here. You can sort of see like the elevation we're talking, we got what, like 10 feet or so, little drop off, maybe 15 feet even, just a little drop off to for this storm bunker down here. And I was like, man, this would be a cool spot for a tee pad, is just up here. Obviously don't get too close to the edge, but there's not really any shot up here, unfortunately. It's like, it's so close. My eye gets drawn to these two initial big trees here, and there'd be like a little gap to make it through there. But unfortunately from there on, there's just a lot of little trees back there. It would be difficult, but I wonder if we pushed back away from the bunker, if we just made that like a double mando and then put the basket just in this little clearing, like just behind those two trees. So if we pulled it back, okay, so if we back up like 50, 60 feet, it's a blind shot now, but I'll highlight these two big trees here in line with the bunker. I think that could be a shot as well. That would be an interesting one. Let's try it and see how it goes. It's not that far. It's like what, 150 to 200 feet at the most. I don't think it's even 200. I'm gonna just try a little glitch floaty shot, and we sort of have a tee pad again. It's not really aimed in the direction you want to run up though, but we could like have the landing zone be like this last little slab. I did not even come close. Try again with the proxy. That might, no, it's not enough fade. Actually, I think I'm close to where I wanted to land, but that's not the gap, I don't think. Let's go look. I forgot again. Once you get back here, it just, they all blend together. We would need to put some kind of signage up if we were to like, okay, so it's these two. So I went to the right of the mando then. So that would not be a good, it would be out of bounds, or it'd be a missed mando. But let's see, where did I land? I landed exactly where I wanted to put the basket though. I don't know if you can see that, you can try to zoom in on it, but that's exactly where I wanted to land. I guess we could also just do like a little floaty shot from the bunker here. So it'd be like a little standstill and then just a little floater ace run, you know? I missed the mando again. God, I'm so bad. This is the front of the bunker, so you can see like this, we do actually have a pretty nice opening here, so we have to find some kind of shot that ends here. Like this should be hole 9. Signature hole, the bunker at the sheds. I think this would be a pretty cool looking green. Like this would be like, if this was on a real disc golf course, I'd be, oh, that's a pretty sick little green there. So I see a little opening for a driveway up this way, and I think we might be able to get something to work here. It will probably be a like somewhat of a lucky shot, but this has to be hole 9 for sure. So right where I'm standing, you can see my proxy is right here. This is sort of where I was thinking of putting the basket. It's just like right around here. And then that way, if you're looking back this way, you can see the gap, obviously, the bunker right in between the main gap that you would want to throw through. And then though I'm looking, maybe from up there, there is sort of like a little hyzer line for a backhand closer to this like fallen tree here. That could work as well. That would be something like maybe I'd see if like Kang or Bowie could come up and just, we'll sort of play test, I guess, and see if that would be viable or if that's super lucky. That's why I thought here, because then none of these trees come into play anymore, and it'd be a little bit more like, you obviously you got to pure the gap. That's if we made it like a double mando, but yeah, we'll see. We're walking through, so the side away from the driveways, it is significantly denser. There's a lot less openings, so Nathan was saying we might have to try to like front load the that front area by the house and see, but there's not a lot up here. We do know though, there are some telephone lines coming through this way, which means there aren't gonna be many trees. So we might have a nice little like open style shot. Let's go check that out. So up here along the road, there is a, like I said, a section that was, it used to be power lines. There aren't even power lines anymore, but you can see it's wide open. Now from this side, where I thought would be a good place to have a shot, it is throwing towards the road, which I don't like doing. Come up here and just bomb something down this way. We sort of have like a natural backstop with these little pine trees. So just put a basket right in front here and actually have a nice like driver shot, maybe a fairway. Probably still a mid, honestly, but let's go throw something. So there's definitely a shot here somewhere. I don't know if it'd be this far back per se, because we do have like this little dead tree that's kind of blocking the ideal line. I think you would sort of make like another double mando between these power poles here. That'll sort of prevent people trying to throw over the road and just going straight into the gap. And just a nice straight shot. Try something like the resistor for that. And then actually, this actually makes it a pretty tricky shot because you have this little tree. It's sort of making a slightly low ceiling, honestly. You can still go like a hyzer. You don't want to go too wide with a hyzer though, because you don't want it to come crashing too far to the left. It's more of a straight shot from here even still, so. That could be interesting. That's an interesting one. Otherwise, Nathan was saying those pine trees don't really continue on all the way down, right?
No, they do not.
So we could have it more up by those power poles and throw over those pine trees and have the basket further down. Let's go check that out and see if that's an option. You can see it's just a straight shot down this way. So let's try something see if we can get over the trees. So I'm trying this servo that I got from Bowie. Yeah, that's too high and gonna end off way to the left. Yeah, that could be doable though. That's still just user error. So we have options here. We'll have to like talk to some other people who, you know, it's not just a one-man show here. Here's what I'm thinking with the bunker shot is, I think there's a line here somewhere. Because I remember when I was here the first time when Nathan and Amanda were showing us the property, I sort of, like right here even, I've sort of seen, if you have a little tight gap, you can see the bunker straight ahead. So this could be a shot here as well. Something understable for a turnover or a forehand maybe, just something like that. And then maybe have a little more fight. But that's pretty solid. And that's a nice little easy chip shot. Or the thing that I saw that I really thought was cool, get a mid-range shot for this, is if we pushed it back a little bit this way, make it more of like a flex shot, like a flex backhand, where you need it to go right and then have more of that needed finish. So if you're looking at it from this, like a T position here, you would still throw through that same gap. You can still see the bunker a little bit, but it's more of a flex. So like you need to turn to the right into that gap, but you do need it to finish more left. And I think that would be interesting. I don't know though how viable this is, so try the hex and see how it goes. That was not what I was intending to do, but a little short of where I wanted, but that's pretty solid. So options there as well. I think personally, I think it'd be more fun back here, but that's a pretty tight line. So I don't know how viable that is, but if I talk to Ken and Bowie, they're like, dude, that's totally doable because they're better than me, then, you know, I obviously, I just, let's play from that short tee up there, you know? A little short tee, long tee, no problem. So two of the trees here going into the sheds, they have these like truck DOT labels. And I was like, that would be a cool little double mando. Here's the thing that I need to rein in with expectations is I'm looking for like East Roswell style holes, like or 200 foot, 250 or so. I need to think more Chambly church style, 100 to 150 foot holes. And that's what this would be. A little chip shot, just straight through the gap, probably finish off to the left in front of the shed. Well, I'm gonna try one shot real quick, just with a A3. Maybe we would say like if you hit the building, it's a stroke, you know? And that way it's like really inspiring you to throw soft. So let's try a little chip. Oh, what did I hit? I hit something, it sounded plastic. Let's go see if there's even a green up there. That was the thing I was wondering, is there a green? Or is it better to just do like something like this, like get a glitch and just sort of float it up there? So like a little float like that, and then just set the basket right there. Here's another idea. So we were walking down to check what I hit. I'm pretty sure it's a trash barrel. But looking back towards the bunker again, there is a little walkway, I assume was probably what that was. And you could maybe have a basket right on top of the bunker then. And again, it's sort of that same thing where it's like more of that Chambly style shot here, so it's not very far if you're throwing from here. I mean, we can pull it back to like almost by the road here, but I don't even think I think just right here is fine. And just a nice, again, same thing, just a little float 150-foot shot here. Try to land on the bunker. A little short, but I think that would be interesting because then you don't, where we're trying not to hit the building, this one you don't have to worry about that as much, because if you throw long, you're going down the bunker, and that's gonna be a big uphill putt from down there. So let me know in the comments if you guys have tried any like course design work, like what sort of, or even if you don't even have to do that. Like if you're just thinking about the design of a course, what are things that you like look for? Would you prefer like a short shot like this with like that natural like danger where you're not like, you don't have, like obviously the shed, that's sort of like an artificial, if you hit this, you take a stroke. That's sort of kind of weird. I know like one course in our area, North Landing does that. They have a tennis court, and if you hit, they have a big old net blocking that. So if you hit that net, it counts as an OB stroke. And I get it, because you don't want to hit the tennis court. So I think if we were to do only one of these, we might even do both if we need to fill in some space here. But if we were only doing one, the second shot I think is a little better. It's a little more natural feeling. One, you're not damaging things, and it's like you're getting punished for like a mistake. Like this is it's short, but you got to practice your approaches. So this is sort of like just a little approach practice. I think that could be cool. Let me know what you think though in the comments. I think we might have found another hole. It'd be, honestly, this is probably a good 200-foot shot that I'm imagining. I think this sort of plays like a wider and a slightly longer version of hole 13 at East Roswell, where you have two lanes. You have the direct route that I'm looking at here, and I'll throw that real quick. Let's try a PA5 hyzer flip sort of shot. And then have something just land to the right of that, but there's a little clearing down there. That's ideal of what I'm thinking. Or you could go with something hyzer to the right of the tree, and then I think there's a couple little gaps down there that you can get through as well. So wider gap off the tee. That's pretty much exactly where I was thinking of putting the basket. So I think that's a hole right there. Nathan's right. We really should front load this half of the property, because like even here right next to the deck, it's very open. So I liked the position of that last shot we did. I think that's a really interesting tee position because you have options off the tee. But like looking from here, the trees are so much sparser. We could come up with something like, for example, from here, we could almost put that further area. There's like a couple of trees marked off with some orange ribbon. I don't know, can you zoom in on that at all? Do you see those? What I'm saying, like there's a couple of trees with orange ribbon tied around them. Probably like maybe they were planning on cutting those at some point, but there's like a big opening over there. You could almost throw something down there, like maybe if I got a mid-range, like my matrix. Check out this matrix I got from Spicy Peach. I had to buy from them. Disc dyer based in Atlanta. So it's like Peachy Disc Golf, Spicy Peach, gotta do that. I think that could be a potential. Something like that, and then fade to the left. I think that might be an interesting shot too. So obviously that would not be a great design if you were designing a like real course for the public, because you would have two fairways right next to each other. So it's definitely not ideal, but for what we're looking at, there's a lot of potential here, but it's getting dark. That's it for this episode, guys. Thanks so much for watching. If you haven't, I would greatly appreciate it if you would subscribe to the channel. If you enjoyed watching this little vlog style course design video, let me know down in the comments, what do you think of the shots that I selected? Do they seem like they'd be fun? Do they seem too easy? Obviously, we got limitations, so we're not looking for 500-foot shots here. That's impossible, but I think these are some interesting shots, and I do think there are potentially more shots as well. So maybe we'll get some more ideas ironed out in the future, but let me know down in the comments what you think of this style of video. And if you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, ring that notification bell. We'll catch you guys in the next episode. Until then, cheers.